Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel in partnership with sharpbetting.co.uk, your home for all your betting tips and expert analysis for a multitude of different sports. So if you're a big sports fan who likes a bet, please check out the guys at sharpbetting.co.uk in the description below. It's me and Thomas here, reacting to what we've just seen from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, as Jaime Munguia has exacted revenge on Bruno SURACE following the shocking KO defeat that SURACE handed Munguia in December of last year. Of course, upset of the year, and a tremendous upset. Huge knockout for the Frenchman, but it's Munguia that's prevailed tonight. Unanimous decision win after a very disciplined performance over 12 rounds. Thomas, I hope you're well as always. Let's jump straight into it. What was your opinion on that fight, and how did it? I'm curious to know how you kind of expected this to go after the huge upset for Saras last year. Like, what was your kind of how did this fight live up to your pre-fight prediction of how it would go?
Sure. Honestly, I was surprised at how contained and disciplined Munguia was, and I was very impressed. To be honest, I thought that um, he wasn't going to change much. I was expecting him to win anyway, and I thought that he would get Saras out of there sometime in the middle point of the fight. But he stayed disciplined. Started off pretty timid, to be honest. I was starting to get a little concerned the first few rounds that he was going to fight the whole fight like that. And slowly but surely, he cranked up the tempo and was very defensively responsible, kept his hands up at home, uh, right by his chin. Very smart and gradually, as the fight went on, cranked up the tempo and didn't get tired. Didn't seem to get anywhere close to being tired at all. So, very impressive performance from Munguia.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in terms of an all-round kind of disciplined performance, it's the best we've seen of him. It really was. Coming into this, I thought Munguia would win as well, but you know, I just had kind of concerns over the Saras KO the first time. Like Saras, not only was he a middleweight, he wasn't a big puncher at all. Four KOs, I believe he had before that original fight. So I was thinking, once your chin gets cracked like that by a non-puncher, what the kind of scar tissue will be like after that mentally. But I think he dealt with it very well. Yeah, the Eddie Reynoso partnership, his first fight under Reynoso, and you could really see the difference. He had, you could see the kind of shades of Canelo Alvarez in there, of how he kind of tucked up behind the high guard. He was fluid, defensively responsible, disciplined, didn't get greedy, didn't kind of smother any of his work. Yeah, and really kind of kept that disciplined kind of display up for 12 rounds, guarded against the right hand. And credit to Bruno Soras, he's earned a few kind of fans over these last couple of fights. Good fighter, technically solid. He just didn't have the firepower this time, or the ideas to kind of keep Munguia off him. But yeah, good fighter in his own right. But I was very impressed with Jaime Munguia. I really was. And I hope we kind of touched off camera there and said it's not the most exciting fight performance compared to what we were used to from Munguia. But we've seen Munguia in wars already, over the past few years, and they're bound to take their toll, especially like he's still a young man. But he has a lot of miles on the clock already, a lot of wear and tear. So he kind of, I hope he continues to fight this way in order to kind of prolong his career, because there's a lot of fascinating fights out there for him. If he performs like that, especially. But yeah, just on that, we'll touch on kind of now what's next for Jaime Munguia. It's an interesting super middleweight division. It really is. You've got the kingpin, his teammate now, a stablemate, Canelo Alvarez, has already beat him. But then underneath that, you've got interesting, very interesting kind of fighters. You've got Edgar Berlanga, of course, he's fighting Hamza Shiraz. You've got Diego Pacheco, Caleb Plant, Iglesias. Who would be your ideal opponent for Jaime Munguia to step in with next, and how would you see him faring against some of the names that I mentioned?
Boy, I would either like to see him, or the two uh matchups that I would prefer to see for Munguia would be either a Caleb Plant fight or Edgar Berlanga. I think probably the Edgar Berlanga fight would be better for him in terms of style, and I think it would be more entertaining as well. And I think he would have a better chance of winning that one against Caleb Plant. I'm not quite as sure, but I would like to see him step up. Now that he's got SURACE past him, did what he's supposed to do, box a smart fight. I would like to see how he employs that smarter, more disciplined style against uh, some of the other top fighters in the division. But yeah, I would like to see, I'd say first Berlanga, and then if not that, then Caleb Plant.
Yeah, great options. Caleb Plant, I think, is a really fascinating one. It'll be a real, well, before tonight, you think of it as a real bull versus matador style. You've got the slick back foot boxing of Caleb Plant against the raw aggression of Jaime Munguia. Yeah, it would be interesting to see how he deals with that style. Would he get frustrated? How he would cope with the back foot boxing. But tonight's performance proved that he can box a disciplined fight himself. But would Caleb Plant force him to kind of revert back to that, reckless kind of rough around the edges aggression? Caleb Plant, I don't know. I really like Caleb Plant. I'd probably still have to edge him against Munguia if he has anything left. But Berlanga for me is I've always thought Edgar Berlanga, Jaime Munguia would be a dream fight for boxing fans. It'd be violent, it'd be aggressive, there'd be guaranteed to be a knockout. I can imagine that fight wouldn't go the distance. I've always edged Munguia in that fight. And I think after tonight, I'm even more confident that Munguia will beat Berlanga, with that discipline. We've never seen Berlanga box as disciplined as that and as sharp as that we've seen tonight. So, of course, Berlanga has to get past Hamza Shiraz first, but if he does, that'd be a huge fight, Munguia and Berlanga. Just a quick one before we kind of wrap up. We've discussed them names and how he might get on. Of course, Canelo's the champion. If those belts were to become fragmented, just a quick answer from yourself. Do you think Jaime Munguia will ever be world champion at 168?
Yeah, assuming that that were to happen and those belts were to drop from Canelo's hands, possibly. Especially now that he's shown more wrinkles to his game. And if he gets the right matchup, like, him and Berlanga are top contenders. So if he gets a matchup like that, that's more favorable for him, he could possibly pick up a belt. But like you mentioned, there's some very good names at the top. And, outside of Berlanga, who I feel that Munguia, I'm pretty confident that Munguia would win that one. He would have his hands full against anybody else. I think, Pacheco's looking really good. As we both mentioned, we think he would probably favor Caleb Plant in a matchup against Munguia. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see, first of all, how much longer Canelo's gonna have those belts, and whether or not Munguia could get his hands on one.
Yeah, again, it's hard to disagree. If he's if the belts do become fragmented, he's shown a lot more tools to his belt tonight, and he would have a good chance against a lot of those top names at 168. So I like Munguia. I think he's really exciting to watch. His flaws make him exciting, but he proved that he can box. He's proved with a mature performance tonight that he can go to the top. So yeah, the future is definitely interesting at 168. So yeah, that's all we have time for here. Just myself and Thomas reacting to what we've seen from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, as Jaime Munguia has exacted revenge on Bruno Soras following the upset of the year knockout victory for the Frenchman last December. Munguia prevailing by unanimous decision this time out, a wide UD after a very disciplined, mature performance. So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. What did you make of that fight? How highly did you rate Mungia's performance? And yeah, how far can he go at 168? Does he beat the names you mentioned? And does he become world champion at 168? Let us know. Get involved down below. Please drop a like on the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out the lads at sharpbetting.co.uk in the description below. Thomas, until next time, take care.
Likewise, thank you.